Welcome to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, everyone. The Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective is a free monthly global broadcast unifying our community of lightworkers around the world through the power of prayerful activism and guided meditation. My name is Kaia Ra. I am the author of the Sophia Code and serve humanity by offering a living transmission from my higher self as the ordained oracle for an ascended master high council called the Sophia Dragon Tribe. It is truly my great honor, joy, and pleasure to serve the light of your soul today through this container for direct communion with the Source. The Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective offers you a virtual sanctuary to learn more about and directly mentor with the ascended master mentors of the Sophia Dragon Tribe, who are exceptional spiritual guides and teachers for learning how to embody the sovereign divinity of your own higher self. Our prayer collective is guided by the living sacred text and direct revelations of the Sophia Code, which is an introductory volume to an entire Divine Feminine Christ Codex. The Codex offers us direct revelations and initiations from the Ascended Masters for how to embody your own higher self, for how to become an active way shower of Sophia Christ consciousness, and for how to remember that you were designed in the image and likeness of your Creatrix, Holy Mother, Holy Father, Source, as a birther of new paradigm realities on earth. We believe that both principles of divine feminine and divine masculine Christ consciousness already exist within you. There's nothing that you're calling forth today in prayer that is outside of you. We believe that you are calling upon and resourcing the divinity that already exists within you. And this living transmission is consecrated to be in service to who you already are, remembering yourself to be as a divine being, living a truly heroic human life. So may today's call bless your daily prayer to embody the Christ light of your own higher self in all ways. If you are new to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, which chances are that could be true because we have so many people on tonight's call, I invite you to simply relax into what's about to unfold. The intention of this prayer circle is to bless your life, truly, and to also bless the lives of everyone, all of your loved ones, your community, your family members, your friends, your beloved animal companions, everyone that's near and dear to your heart. This container is set to bless every single person that the sacred flame of your own heart touches in your daily life. And we're doing this through something that the Ascended Masters have asked me to call prayerful activism. It's when we're choosing to accept the blessings and the revelations that we receive through prayer, the support and the help, and on behalf of all beings, so that when you receive the blessings tonight of what's going to unfold for you, it's already sending out that blessing to everyone that your heart is connected to. I want to reassure you, especially if you're new, that there's no right or wrong way to pray or meditate with our prayer collective, and that the Ascended Masters and your own higher self will be guiding you in very clear ways about how to receive the high frequency energy of tonight's call. Further, please know that this is very important to me because I want everyone to know how welcome they are here. I want you to know that any name that you use for God or the Source for your direct relationship that is an indication of your direct relationship with the divine is welcome in the sanctuary of prayer. As we read about in Chapter 1 of the Sophia Code, when Sophia speaks and introduces herself as Sophia, the one divine mother creatrix of all life, she also says, hey, I'm all the names of God. So whatever you call upon me, you're speaking into me. And we happen to call that word for the Source or God Sophia in the Sophia Code cosmology. But whatever is the most comfortable for your own heart, Sophia, myself, the entire High Council welcomes how you feel most comfortable with the divine. All we care about is that you call upon the divine as your home and your resource for the strength and love and support that you need. that there's that relationship growing there. So please know that if you do not hear the name of God that is most comfortable for you, you can always use the name in your own heart and mind that is most comfortable for you as we pray together. It's deeply moving to me to witness how the Sophia Code is gathering people to truly embody their highest and best. And I want to just say thank you from my heart to yours for showing up to this container with the purity of your heart, the angelic light of your own higher self, the divinity that is resonating within you, that has come to this space to resonate with the divinity of everyone else, that cares just as much about their own divine genome and their higher self as you do. And I asked them, how do you want to go about tonight's experience, communion with you and for everybody here? And it was really fascinating. They walked me through a series of images that we're going to walk through together through prayer and meditation. But what stuck out to me the most was that the imagery that they were sending to me was as though they wanted me to walk us through almost like a clinic, like the Ascended Master clinic, where the nurses are there, they're putting ointments and bandages on us and feeding us, soft foods and warm liquids to really embrace each and every one of us for how much you and I just traveled through in a very deep soul initiations, which were, all lighting us up, preparing us for this incredible year of a call of leadership that we're all experiencing on one level or another. There's a wide spectrum of where leadership calls us. And I just returned back from a really intense conference that included a lot of information about where humanity is going in the next 1 to 5 years with technology, AI, robotics, and it was really full on. And what kept coming to me in that journey, and I know that all of us are going to be seeing on the web and magazines and the internet over the next year a lot of dialogue about how fast humanity is about to take another quantum leap in its evolution through interfacing with technology and various other things that are going to unfold for us, and it's going to create a lot of change on the planet. And the first thing that really came to me in the process was, wow, the Sophia Code couldn't have come at a more perfect moment in time. And for those of you who did the initiations in the book as well, we were activating our divine genome to truly call forth the light of our divinity to what? What do they talk about in chapter 2? To flip the switches of those crystalline chromosomes within you, which creates bridges of light for your higher self to start anchoring, integrating, and downloading in ever-increasing measure to what? Turn on the Sophia Code operating system within you. Why would that be so important to get a jump start on that before all the changes that are coming? Well, because you need the light and power and presence and clarity of your own higher self, operating your human awareness to be able to navigate the changes that are coming over the next 5 years. Many of you don't know this, but the Sophia Code was actually written based on my training of computer programming. When I was in university, I actually studied computer, how to write code. And I didn't know why I was so interested in it at the time because, frankly, I'm an artist but there was something so fascinating to me about how to write code and how if you put in this, you're masterful enough in how you're writing your code, it was like pulling from the ethers commands that could set forth a series of changes in a virtual reality that could then affect physical reality. And little did I know that my years in other fields of professional fields were literally preparing me for what was going to come with the Sophia Code, which was quite literally codes. These are program codes directly downloaded from Sophia for how to literally flip on the operating system of the divine genome within you, download your higher self, and embody that divinity in miraculous new ways. So, when you go out into the world and you see human beings walking around like they're zombies, the reason for that is they don't have their divine genome flipped on, their divine operating system. Their higher self is not in charge of their human awareness. They haven't walked through the journey, which is what you walk through in the foundational curriculum. The first time you read the book, cover to cover, what you're walking through is the negotiations of your ego structure. Pleading, begging, asking, praying that your ego structure will surrender to the guidance of your higher self, to the power of your higher self, to the clarity and light of your higher self, beginning to download an ever-increasing measure to guide your awareness to live in your highest potential. And when you stand at the precipice of a beginning, very often, have you ever moved to a new city or started a new relationship, whether it's a friendship or a partnership, and you notice that the first 3 to 6 months or even a year, there's a process of not even realizing what was there from your past. It starts to fall away with your loving attention to where you want to go next, how you want to integrate into that new location or new relationship or new job next. There's a gradual integrative letting go of what happened that got you to where you are now. And so many of us, by walking through these initiations with the Ascended Masters, what we've been doing is we've been saying, you know what, the past 30 to 300,000 years of past life belief systems, oaths, vows, agreements that I've made that have kept me at a certain place in this lifetime are no longer needed. Actually, the truth is, this particular lifetime is such a revolutionary lifetime for humanity. I need all of my divinity, not just to survive this lifetime, but to thrive in this lifetime. It's a very unique lifetime. If you look at just the past 100 years, with the modern, the process of our entire world becoming industrialized, we've experienced more change in the past 80 to 100 years than we've experienced in thousands of years. And that's about to leap again over the next 10 years with AI. So I'm not saying that to scare any of us. What I'm saying is we need all of our divinity to be key players, key leaders, key voices, and how to navigate, how to support the rest of humanity to choosing the light of its divinity and instead of going into fear, choosing the peace, the love, and the truth of our own divinity. And that from that place within us, that space within us, we can create a new paradigm, a new heavenly reality that's going to help us navigate such great changes ahead. So part of what is set forth with the initiations of the Sophia Code as a sacred text is you're beginning to get your divine genome online so that your humanity can operate far above the baseline of what most of humanity is operating at. And I know many of you know that because you're experiencing it to some level, whether it's subtle or for many of our initiates that have been traveling with us on an incredible level of change and how you're operating in your human relationships, in your career, in your families, and just how you're interfacing with life. That every day that you get up out of bed, there is a prayer that you are saying, and that prayer sounds something like this. Holy Mother, Holy Father, Sophia, God of all life, or whatever you call God, may I deeply embody my higher self's Christ light today in all ways. In every conversation that I have, in every choice that I make, in everything that I choose to participate in, may I be guided by the light of divinity within me so that every choice that I make leads to the next level of how brilliantly I can shine in this lifetime for others to remember that they can shine that brightly too. If you said something like that just even anything close to that before you started every single day, you turned your thoughts to why are you here? The big why that you're here is to be divinity in the flesh. That's what the Sophia Code is awakening us to every step of the way. Because there's so much toxic viral programs, both with how we're being literally assaulted with chemical toxins every single day across this planet, not to mention all the other annihilation programs that are running right now all over the world, and how much humanity is suffering from it. You can do it something more revolutionary than love yourself enough to call in your divinity every day. And you couldn't do something more loving than that for your family, friends, and all of humanity. But, and this is what we talk about in the curriculums, here's the thing, when you call in a prayer to lead the way for the rest of humanity to the light and power of your divinity radiating out of you, that light is going to change you first. That light's gonna turn you inside out first. That light is going to clear out everything from you first so that you can be an ever-increasing beacon of light for others. So very often when light workers start to pray to embody the fullness of their higher self, they get confused because it looks like things start to fall apart, or it looks like things are getting a little bit harder or messier, or there's some chaos. What are all of those things pointing to? The light is changing you, and it's changing your reality. The light of your own divinity that you've invoked is already making an impact on your reality, rearranging anything that's toxic or no longer serving you to quickly exit out of your life. And this is why we have mentors, coaches, and guides. Yes, we have them on the human plane, for sure, on this reality, but I have not found higher guides for navigating this kind of awakening to my own divinity than the Ascended Masters. Why? Well, and in particular the Ascended Masters of the Sophia Dragon Tribe, because we made an agreement when I agreed to bring forth the Sophia Code. I said, I'm only going to do this if we're having a new paradigm with the Ascended Masters here. You know, eye to eye, heart to heart, hand to hand. Is this how we're doing this in our sovereign divinity? And they said, yes, this is the program. Because I'm just not interested in saint worship or Buddha worship or anything like that would cause anyone who comes in contact with this container to think that they are anything less than just as divine as Mother Mary or Saint Germain or Mary Magdalene or any of the Ascended Masters that you look up to. They are, you can think about them like your big brothers and big sisters. They just went ahead of you to make sure that the way ahead of you is going to be made easier for you. And there were Ascended Masters that went ahead of them to do that same thing. So, you know, that's one of the really pieces of really good news that the Sophia Code is offering us. So coming back to that journey of navigating the ego structure, navigating how toxic this world is, navigating how much humanity is enslaved to these annihilation agendas, the Ascended Masters as mentors, multidimensional mentors, are here to ensure that no matter how many human feelings, no matter how challenging it feels, no matter how much you might want to give up on certain days or give in or just throw in the towel, that you have your mentors there cheering you on, really, truly cheering you on, available for divine interventions at any moment that you remember to ask for their help. When you remember to ask for their support. Because here's the thing, as you begin to embody your higher self and you know, almost like a bicycle, you take the training wheels off, now you're cruising on your bicycle, maybe you're even mountain biking, you're like, I'm so good at riding a bicycle, I can even go down a mountain on this thing. But that's just the first step. Embodiment is just the first step, the clearing out of everything that no longer served you. It's getting you ready for the whole other world, which is to be a creatrix or creator of your reality. That's a whole other level of scary. Because why? Because it means you have to take responsibility for what wants to be birthed through you, created through you, spoken through you. it's the big girl, big boy pants version of spiritual maturity. It's when you recognize, oh wow, it is the ultimate gift to embody this Christ light, but how am I going, what wants to come through me that is of my divinity that now wants to be shared with the rest of humanity, or at the very least your loved ones and your immediate circles or in your business. It's when that divine feminine Christ consciousness of all the visions and intuitions and the feelings and the heart prayers of what you really want to do in life are then being summoned forth by the divine masculine within you that says, okay, great, so what are you going to do about it? How are you going to be organized about this? How are you going to step forward and really be seen in all of this divine, feminine, visionary, creative glory? How can I support you in your hopes and dreams being recognized by your own consciousness and then taking those action steps as guided by your higher self? So many of us actually took quite a lot of steps last year that may have felt pretty scary. And you came through the other side and you recognized, wow, that's not so bad. I am a much bigger version of myself now as a result of my willingness to go anyways, even with all of my hard feelings about being a bigger person. The big call that you and I are negotiating with our human self, our ego structure, with our higher self, what we're negotiating is how much you and I are willing to be seen in our divinity. It's one thing to do this work in private, it's another thing to be seen in the radiance that you are. It's another thing to show up and be diplomatic when you're at the end of the day and you don't want to be diplomatic, you want to be curt or short with others, and maybe go back to how you would have behaved a year ago because you're changing so fast that maybe you just about had it with all the change and you don't want to be responsible in that moment to a diplomatic form of dialogue. It's like once we begin to embody our divinity, it takes us into spaces and places within this world where we get to test ourselves at the next level of our spiritual maturity. Learning how to speak clear boundaries and learning how to receive on a new level, which then means that you are going to have to manage more of your personal power and creative endeavors coming into this world. So what I'd like for us to do together is really spend some time with the Ascended Masters in this beautiful clinic that they were showing me. It's like a nurse's ward that they took me through first today to really get us up to speed with the love and support that the Ascended Masters want to provide for us so that we can feel that we are big enough to take on the call to lead this year through our divine feminine Christ light. We are big enough to follow our intuition, even especially when it doesn't make sense, because divine feminine Christ consciousness is serpentine or dragon-like. It doesn't move in straight lines. It's too perfect for that. Actually, divine feminine consciousness works on all levels of reality simultaneously to affect accelerated birthings or manifestations closer to the speed of light than a turtle. And we're just trying to catch up as to how that can actually be possible. So I'd like for us to turn in the Sophia Code to page 38. Because I think it's a really great time to remember this before we go and receive this healing. And it's just a really nice thing to remember at the beginning of this year that these key code mentors are here for us. They have so much to offer us in every detail of our life. It's been funny. I've been receiving some requests about who are the next key codes that are coming in future books of the Sophia Code, and it kind of shocks me because if you actually read this book and you actually create altars and interface with these mentors, These mentors are absolute. You could spend a lifetime with just one mentor, learning things that, learning pathways of growth that would be impossible without them. And we have 8 of them here. So I just invite you to be curious about how deep you can go with these mentors this year in changing your life, and supporting you in all of the ways that you're going to be seen. So we're going to start with the paragraph that says, over an arc of time, on page 38. And you're all on mute, so if you want to read this out loud with me, you're welcome to, because reading the Sophia Code out loud is really, really powerful of an activation. Over an arc of time, living in alignment with your higher self creates a positive momentum in which you no longer desire to make choices that sabotage the success of your life. This natural gravitation to embrace your success leads you to walk the way of a direct path for embodying your higher self's divine will every day. Choosing a direct path accelerates your personal evolution with many soul initiations that allow for your higher self to unravel lifetimes of suffering within this single lifetime. Socially conditioned resistances to your own divinity spanning generations of ancestry can be cleared from your carbon-based DNA that may be blocking your personal success and happiness. An Ascended Master Key Code serves as an intermediary who mentors your awareness to persevere along this lightning path of your higher self's soul initiations, to radically liberate you from all unconsciously encoded belief systems to needlessly suffer. Acting as a midwife for your consciousness, a Key Code mentor supports you through the contractions of your awareness, which are continuously rebirthing you through the self-realizations of your own sovereign divine nature. There are no shortcuts in walking the way, but there is always the most direct path in quantum reality for every initiation of your soul. As a master calligrapher wields a brush with absolute precision, every choice on your direct path leads to your next soul initiation without distraction. Your relationship with life becomes your masterpiece. Living a direct path is a rigorous soul practice that calls you to lead by example, living at the edge of your vulnerability every day. It requires deep, active listening to the daily guidance provided by your higher self and a willingness to courageously act upon this divine guidance through your authentic expression. A Key Code mentor supports your awareness to integrate this direct path in gradual stages of personal acceptance and embodiment with compassion for yourself every step along the way. So I want to go back to the top of page 39 where it says, acting as a midwife for your consciousness. A Key Code mentor supports you through the contractions of your awareness, which are continuously rebirthing you through the self-realizations of your own sovereign divine nature. That's one of the most important sentences in the book. And they asked me to read that tonight. Why? Because it's a really helpful reminder that sometimes when we get to a place of embodying enough of our higher self, we're like, oh yeah, this is cool, I can do this. But you never get to rest on your laurels in the journey of ascension. There's always the next arc of a journey that you're going to go on as that hero of what you're going to do now with the divinity that you've awakened within you. And you're being asked to be seen and to lead the way. So I can say those words and I can already feel in the field how much emotion that brings up for people. Well, I don't want to be seen. I don't think I'm a leader. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just here to have a happy life. And it's just like, all of that's okay. But notice that there's an immediate contraction when people hear the request from our family of light on high that we're here to lead right now. Well, it's not worth it. Who's really listening? The world is a disaster. What difference could I really make if I'm leading based on what I feel passionate about leading on? It's like, those are all very real things. But what are they? They are contractions of your awareness. You go back to that sentence. Contractions of your awareness. So when you're being called to be seen, when you're being called to lead in a way that you never thought that you would be leading, whether it's professionally, in your career, in your circles, your spiritual circles, with your family or your friends, or being asked to go places in the world or in your industry that you've never gone to before. Those contractions, the ego structure is always afraid of what it doesn't know anything about. And it will literally, like, it's as though all the cells in your body pull inward. I don't know, that doesn't feel safe. What if I do it wrong? What if I mess it up? What if something awful happens because I didn't do it right? And those contractions are letting you know that the next biggest version of yourself is available to you if you're able to breathe through those contractions. Why? Because the very divinity within you is attempting to birth through you a bigger version of you. You want to talk about divine feminine Christ consciousness. You're both the mother and the child. You're the midwife. You're all of it at the same time. That's what the Ascended Masters are mentoring you in, how you're here to coach yourself through that Lamaze breathing. As those really challenging moments come up where you're just like, I don't know if I can do this. Actually, I don't want to do this. Actually, I'm running like hell right now from doing what I know I should be doing. Right? But then there's that aspect of your higher self that's like, wait, no, hey, keep breathing through this. Keep breathing through how uncomfortable this feels, because I know you really want to know who you are on the other side of this. So very often, in Divine Feminine Christ Consciousness, we need to identify that those things, like whether they're artifacts such as books or healing modalities or dialogues or dissertations or new products or new companies or new churches or anything that's new, a new paradigm, anything that wants to come through you is a baby. It is like giving birth. It is giving birth to a baby, but it's a spiritual, energetic birth. That the Christ light within you, Sophia, Holy Mother, Holy Father, God, wants to create new life through you, and it's not just in the form of a physical, biological baby. If you look at how does the world change? If you look at, like, one of the things we were looking at the AI conference, I was like, you look at the iPhone didn't even exist beyond 10 years ago, and it completely changed the entire world. Where everybody's walking around with, not everybody, but most people have some form of a computer that they're walking around with at any moment through their phone. That didn't exist 10 years ago. And yet, the idea arrived and was implemented and literally changed the landscape of humanity within only 10 years. Divinity, your divinity, and the divinity within all of us wants to continue to birth a landscape of change, of goodness, of respect, of kindness, a paradigm of beauty for those who really want to receive it in this lifetime. Not everybody's going to want it in this lifetime, but if enough of us not only want it, but then receive the blessings of these new paradigm solutions coming through us, we're going to change the world so much faster than just a 10-year arc. And further, we don't actually, this is such a pivotal moment for humanity. The time is now. It really is now for us listening to what wants to be birthed through you and I. Now, I want to remind each and everyone that relationships can be something that are being birthed through you. I'm facing that currently in my own business and movement, how important certain relationships are to reach the most amount of people with the good news of the Sophia Code. So it's like, it's the same concept. Whatever is needed for your divine purpose is wanting to be birthed through you. And it's going to shift your consciousness as you allow it to do so. But there's going to be a lot of moments where you're going to have to breathe through how much you don't want to change that much. Because when that baby comes through you, all of a sudden you are responsible for feeding it, caring for it, tending to it, nurturing it, and ensuring that it's going to grow up to be a healthy child, eventually teenager, eventually adult. The maturity that you and I are being summoned into by the Ascended Masters is staggering for most people to even conceive of. Because most of humanity's perception of spirituality is just placating to some power outside of themselves and hoping to God someday once they die, they'll go to a good place and get the hell out of this mess. That's most people's version of religion on this planet. But true spiritual awakening is the journey of, not only am I going to become clear and awake and sober to the truth that I am divine, now you're going to go through the process of reconciling with that, the creative power to birth new paradigms, to birth, gestate, nurture, and really unfurl new paradigms through what you're willing to attend to within yourself as you're being mentored by the Ascended Masters to do so. Because they know, they went through all of their own feelings about what they had to birth when they were here. They're really great guides for that. So, as you bring your hands and your inner hands to the light of your own divinity, when you touch that divinity, let's be clear. Divinity is fire and water and flames and the Holy Spirit. And all of this is you. It's very, very, very powerful. So part of what we're going to set the blueprint for this year is the respect that you deserve to give yourself for this divine force of nature that exists within you. And when you respect something long enough, you become very curious about what that power can do within you, given enough love and nurturance and compassion. Because, at the end of this reading, we have with compassion for yourself every step along the way. Because the human ego structure, God bless it, is not, it's not like it's not going to go kicking and screaming. It will, as we all know. So it requires a lot of compassion for those parts of yourself that simply do not want to go. So, with all of that said, wonderful for us that we have the incredible Divine Feminine Christ Ascended Masters that are truly here to bless us and leading the way in 2018 and setting this blueprint tonight, here and now, through our guided meditation and prayer. So I welcome you to if you haven't yet, put the Sophia Code down next to you and get comfortable. The book, as we all know, is a living, breathing technology. It will be part of the resonating life force that's attributing to the activations that you're receiving right now. And I look forward to meeting you here in the seventh plane. So, Holy Mother, Holy Father, Sophia God, Source of all life, Creatrix of all life, light that has given birth to the flame, the sacred flame of light of our own divinity within each and every one of us. You have made us a hologram of your almighty Creatrix creator power. We give thanks for this opportunity to come together as an international community of light workers, friends and family across the heart waves. We've all traveled so far to be here on this planet at this time, this really powerful moment in human history, poised yet again in another gateway where humanity is making some really big decisions about how it's going to evolve over the next 10 years. Holy Mother, Holy Father, Sophia God, we come before you because we know that when we bow to the throne of divinity that you are within us, when we call upon you both within us and within the cosmos simultaneously, we are relinking our neurology to the source of our power. We are reestablishing our heart connection to the divine source of our creative power, of the resource of compassion that we have for us, the never-ending eternal life force of unconditional love that exists for us. We are reconnecting to the source that gave birth to each and every one of our souls, it says that you and I are worthy, that we are worthy to lead, that we are worthy to embody this divinity, that we are worthy of shining this brightly amidst millions of human beings that are cowering in the darkness of another age. Holy Mother, Holy Father, Sophia God, I know that you have impressed upon each and every one of our hearts your prayer for all of humanity to prosper in all ways, to live the beauty way, to live in perfect health, free of disease, free of viruses, that you designed us to live the good life, where what wants to be birthed through us can be received, nurtured, and brought up as to become a part of a new paradigm that each and every one of us is praying for. But Holy Mother, Holy Father, Sophia God, we are also very clear in this moment that that new paradigm of heaven on earth is only possible by our willingness to birth it through our own bodies, to listen to our hearts and to follow through on the promptings, the intuitive promptings of our higher self, beckoning us forward to ideas, actions, meeting of individuals that may feel really outside of our paradigm, so that we can actually step into the biggest version of ourselves. And so, Holy Mother, Sophia God, we call upon your beautiful Ascended Master High Council, the Sophia Dragon Tribe, to come forward and bless the blueprint of 2018, to bless everyone's divinity that is awakening and integrating on all four levels of their being now, who are a part of the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. At this time, I welcome those angelic orders that are in service to this transmission of sovereignty through the Sophia Dragon Tribe that you have given to us, Sophia, Holy Mother, Holy Father God. I call forth the order of the sacred flames. I call forth the order of the thrones. I call forth the order of Ophamine. I call forth the order of the Seraphim, the Sophia Dragons. I call forth the order of the virtues. I call forth the order of the archangels and all of our guardian angels. And I'm also calling forth the order of cherubim. I'm calling forth these angelic energies to lift every single person on this prayer call up into the seventh plane, where instantaneous miracles and divine knowing exist. Where your beautiful, pure, crystalline white light, iridescent white light is Holy Mother Sophia God. This is where we go. We go back to the source to refresh, to baptize our body, hearts, and minds with your Sophia Christ consciousness. We're welcoming each and every individual arriving into the sanctuary space. And at this time, I call forth our circle of divine feminine Christ empowerment. These beautiful ascended masters who know how to lead through the power of divine feminine Christ consciousness, balanced by divine masculine Christ consciousness within one form. In particular, I welcome White Buffalo Woman to stand at the temple gates in the north. In the northeast, I welcome Isis. And I also welcome Saint Germain to stand with us in the northeast. In the east, I call forth Hathor and the Hathor Star Nation. In the southeast, I welcome Green Tara, as well as the 21 emanations of Green Tara, including the Order of Dakinis, master teachers on the wisdom of the Divine Feminine. In the south, I welcome She of 1,000 Roses, Mother Mary. In the southwest, I welcome Mary Magdalene, Key Code 5, She of 1,000 Angels, as well as Jesus and the entire Order of Magdalena. In the west, I welcome beloved Kuan Yin and Maha Avatar Babaji, and anchoring the northwest gate of our Divine Feminine Christ Circle of Empowerment, I welcome the fiery and beautiful, majestic Sophia Dragons, the Holy Seraphim of Sophia Mother God. In the center of the circle, I welcome your own higher self consciousness, your own divinity. And at this time, we set the intention that every blessing, every activation that is received in the space is immediately transferred to all 4 levels of your human body. And I welcome the presence of Kuan Yin approaching each and every one of us now. Kuan Yin is coming forward to smile at you. She's smiling at you. Her arms are open to you. And you may actually feel in her presence the presence of your inner child. So I'd like to also acknowledge everyone's inner child, your phoenix child. You may feel your inner child run up to Kuan Yin, throw her arms around her. Feel that loving embrace of compassion. Kuan Yin is guiding you to enter this beautiful, it's like an angel hospital, or we could call it an angel spa. Let's think of it as an angel spa. But there's this clinical energy to it of like, yeah, we're getting our checkup done right now, right? They're the best doctors in the universe, the Ascended Masters. And Kuan Yin is bringing you into this room, and there's a beautiful rose quartz bed there that she's welcoming you to lay down on. So you might see yourself as an adult laying down in the bed. Maybe your inner child is laying down there with you. Maybe sleeping on top of your chest. And as soon as your back hits that rose quartz bed, it's as though you are melting into the rose quartz. It's as though your cells are literally melting off your skeletal structure. There's so much compassion in this room for you and your humanity, and all of your challenging feelings about being human on Earth at this time. It's such a pivotal moment, such a revolutionary moment that humanity is involved itself with in its evolution. Such rose quartz energy, this pink ray of compassion, it's surrounding and filling this entire room, baptizing you with the grace of Karuna compassion. Kuan Yin has so much compassion for you that it's actually activating those places within you that may feel numb to giving compassion to yourself. So her compassion, her Karuna compassion, which is to have no separation from embracing yourself, is actually inspiring your own ability to deeply embrace your own heart, your own body, your own mind. For how much you just came through. I know I faced some really challenging initiation. Chances are good you may have as well. And Kuan Yin is asking in this moment if she can assist you with some of the deep wounding. It might have been psychic wounding or even physical wounding that happened during these initiations of growth that may be making the contractions of your expansion in this year a little bit more challenging than they need to be. She has this like soothing ointment that she'd like to place on these wounds. And if you're ready to accept them, she's going to go there with you. And you may hear her chanting over and over and over again, which I'm going to do right now for a minute while I just allow Kuan Yin to work with you. Her sacred mantra, Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. And you may feel parts of your soul might be crying a little bit, just feel acknowledged by the presence of Kuan Yin. And there may be other parts of you that just feel so delighted to be seen. Just noticing how all the parts of you can express themselves simultaneously without any of them being wrong for whatever they're expressing. You're in the room with Kuan Yin, so no matter what feelings are arising, you're in your divine purpose, you're in your divine path. So in this, I'd like to set the blueprint for 2018 that whatever you're feeling in contractions of how you're birthing a bigger version of yourself, that first of all, your feelings are a part of that rebirthing process, but also that your feelings don't have to stop you from moving into places and spaces both within you and in life that are new and different, that feel vulnerable for you. It's okay to go anyways. Sophia is going with you. Sophia is going with you within the form of all of these divine feminine Christ mentors, such as Kuan Yin. She's going with you as your higher self. She's going with you in the higher self of this community that's praying with you. She's going with you through the Sophia Code. You've got this. Especially when you have compassion for the parts within you that feel scared about going anyway. And Kuan Yin is extending her beautiful hand to you. God, it looks like ivory, like moonlight, her fingertips. And you're welcome to take her hands as she helps you get up from the beautiful rose quartz healing table. And she's leading you through a door to another room here in our Angel Spa clinic, our Angel Med Spa. And as you walk through the door, you see that Isis is waiting for you, key code 1 of the Sophia Code. Beautiful winged Isis. And Isis is welcoming you to take a seat. She's at a desk. Of course, it's a beautifully carved in marble desk. She would have it no other way, encrusted in jewels and such. But what she's saying is, in this moment, she wants to be your coach. But what's unfolding for you with your dreams, hopes, and visions for 2018. So I welcome you to allow Kuan Yin to escort you over to your seat across from Isis. And as you sit down, notice that your eyes are now locking eyes with Isis's eyes. And it's as though as soon as you look into her eyes, you see the entire night sky, all the sparkling stars in the sky. They're sparkling through Isis's eyes. And everything within you becomes quite still. You may take a deep breath in, just exhale. Isis is this incredible embodiment of the reason why we adore Isis is she is the embodiment of being in such deep communion with all of her divine feminine visions, intuitions, and promptings. And the musculature of her embodiment is that divine masculine energy that's willing to do whatever it takes to ensure that the visions that want to birth through her come into a physical reality. Further, what's emanating from this perfectly balanced divine feminine, divine masculine Christ embodiment of Isis is confidence. True unabashed confidence in her own divinity. So part of what gets us shaken in our boots and knocking in our knees when we're faced with the vulnerable unknown is simply a lack of confidence in the divinity that we are and the divinity that is guiding us. So in this moment, I'm gonna go silent for about 20 seconds. I invite you to share with Isis what's got you knocking in your boots about being seen, even if it's the frustration and confusion of not knowing how you're here to lead. You are welcome to share your real feelings and thoughts about what it is that you're envisioning for yourself and any ways that you feel scared or frustrated or a lack of confidence that it's possible. And as you share, I want you to notice that Isis's beautiful wings have upstretched like a glorious archangel above you. And why she's doing this is that you can feel how surrounded and protected by her angelic light you are as you allow yourself to share your deepest hopes and desires and fears with Isis in this moment. Just noticing how interested Isis is in your dreams. Noticing how the stillness of Isis's absolute confidence is assuring you that it's safe to share about your fears or anxieties, because when you share them with her, so interesting, she's such an absolute pillar of confidence. The fear gets expressed or the anxiety gets expressed, and then it just starts to fade away. Because what she is transmitting to you is that all things are possible through the Christ light within you, through the divinity that you are. You can't get it all done with your human self, but if you're tuning into your divine self, there's a reason why in Hindi and Buddhist cosmology, the divinity is often pictured with many arms and many eyes. It's because when you are allowing your own divinity, which is in communion with Sophia and with these ascended masters, when you let your higher self operate your human awareness, it's reaching out into a multidimensional universe, attracting every component, everything that you need to literally burst through your body, your hopes and dreams. Further, the divine plan that Sophia has imprinted upon your heart, because there's a journey, there's a part in the journey where you start to realize, wow, all of my hopes and dreams that I have for this year, for the rest of your life, they're really already in alignment with what Sophia has a plan, divine plan for you to participate in. And the more and more that you allow that perfect divine plan of creation to be birthed through you, the bigger and bigger that divine plan becomes within your human awareness, and that's where the contractions and fear and anxiety start to arise. But here in the presence of Isis, she's literally using her wings to sweep through every level of your being within her office space, just to assure you with confidence in the Sophia light within you, and with confidence in your higher self guiding you, with confidence through prayer, and releasing what is most important to you up into that divinity within you and within all that is, that can orchestrate the many arms and many eyes and many voices on your behalf. You've got this. And there's a final transmission that's coming from Isis. She's saying we don't actually have a lot of role models in our current human landscape of spiritual maturity. And what spiritual maturity is when you know that there is a vision within your heart that you are being called to follow through on, and you follow through on it anyways, one step at a time, regardless of your feelings, because you've found out that you can be a really good parent to all of the wounded places within you that simply need your loving compassion and attention to be able to keep moving forward in the big plan for your life. And everybody has a big plan for their life. Sophia wouldn't have created you as anything less than that. And it's always going to be unique from somebody else's big plan, so you can't compare yourself to others. And that's another aspect of spiritual maturity that we are being welcomed into. So in this moment, Isis is bringing her hands over your eyes. And as she does, there's this beautiful, like, violet flame and royal purple energetic healing that's being transmitted over your eyes. It's going straight through your pupils. And it's cleansing and empowering your pituitary gland, the center of your head, to align your vision, to see yourself clearly as an embodiment of divine feminine Christ energy and consciousness and leadership. And if you're wanting to align with the divine masculine Christ leadership, then claim that for yourself through this very sacred flame transmission going right through the center of your pupils, so that you can perceive reality the way that the angels do from the other side of this physical reality. So that your eyes and your tongue become that sacred flame light. And whatever you look upon or speak to, you're bringing those sacred flames of Sophia's Christ consciousness here on earth. The element of fire has absolutely no apology for what it is. It is the light, and it is the purification. It is the force of creation. It is the force of destruction. It simply does not have any opinion about itself other than it thinks it's awesome, because it is. And the sacred flame transmission that Isis is transmitting through your eyes, now it's flowing down your throat and down your back. She's saying it's to help you clearly identify with this aspect of divinity within you, this fire of divinity within you. She's saying that will keep your flame burning bright. And as Isis steps back, you'll notice that Hathor is now in the room with you, and she's singing in a series of harmonic notes that are activating your 7 major chakra system to come into alignment with your prayer and your visions that you spoke to Isis for those parts of yourself that really want to come online and agree to your visions coming true. So allowing the songs of Hathor, with singing the songs of Sophia over you, allow this momentous realignment for your highest and best good, actualized one loving step at a time. Hathor is also opening a stargate where you're able, now that beautiful. Wow, you guys work perfectly together. Isis has activated your eyes so that you can see through the stargate that Hathor's opening for you to get a long-term vision of what 2018 holds for you. This is a sneak peek. So whatever you're willing to take in with confidence and compassion for yourself, and Hathor is inviting you, you're all on mute, to now say aloud, I bless myself in every way. I now bless myself on all 4 levels of my being. I bless myself for walking the way of my greatest empowerment through the self-realization that my divinity is the light moving within my human body at the speed of light. This is my true nature. Therefore, I declare that my feet are now set upon the path of an accelerated, direct route to my greatest success. Further, I now call upon the light of this divinity within me, that is me, as my higher self, to coordinate and orchestrate all of the resources, all of the blessings, all of the gifts, all of the opportunities that I deserve to receive as I make my way along this journey, one self-loving, self-respectful step at a time. I welcome the sacred flames and the sacred geometry of Sophia Code now downloading through my 8th chakra, activating every cell of my body to unfurl the Holy Spirit within me, who is actually the essence guiding me in all ways through this portal that I am witnessing Hathor opening for me now. I bear witness to the angelic orders that are blessing this pathway before me, including removing any obstacles that are no longer necessary for my growth. As a way shower of Sophia Christ consciousness, I release any contracts with darkness that I may have to learn about the light of my divinity this year. I release the need to be persecuted for the light that I am. And I welcome Isis's violet flame and Hathor's harmonics to clear me on all levels of my being of any need to suffer for my divinity. And further, I now claim the golden way, the golden life that Hathor lived here on earth as a birther of a golden age paradigm as my divine inheritance too. And as I do so, I feel myself crowned by Hathor. I feel my consciousness shifting to prosperity, abundance, consciousness, where I remember there's always more than enough from the source of Sophia to make the way possible for all of my dreams to come true. There is my part to do, and then there is the divine orchestrations that are simply my part to call in. I accept and receive the wheels within wheels of light, these Ophimine angelic guardians and guides that attend Hathor wherever she goes, preparing the way for me with unforeseen blessings, miracles that delight and surprise me all year long. Drawing me, magnetizing me, blessing me into the golden way, the golden life, which, as I am willing to receive now, becomes a beacon to humanity of what is possible for every single person on earth, if they so choose to believe in the truth of their own sovereign divinity and to take refuge in that divinity. just as I am every day. I give thanks that this is so, and I let these prayers go now, knowing that the Holy Spirit that I am carries them forward, backward, above me, beneath me, and into every multidimensional direction that surrounds me across space and time and beyond space and time. Setting forth a pathway of absolute goodness for me. It is done. It is done. It is done now. By the power of three, a perfect Trinity. It is done, and so it is. Amen. I'm just feeling how blessed it is to be in the presence of Kuan Yin and Isis and Hathor, to feel these multidimensional blessings, truly laying down a blueprint of success, of support, of compassion, divinely guided action in all ways for you this year. And we welcome your higher self feeling all these activations within every part of your being, at all four levels of your being. Your body, your emotional body, your mental body, your physical, your spiritual causal bodies. And I'm also witnessing Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Green Tara, White Buffalo Woman. They're all sending their blessings to you as well. But if you look at the three key codes that step forward for tonight's prayer, we have key code 6, Kuan Yin. The absolute necessity of having compassion for yourselves is going to feel like a lot of hurry up and wait, a lot of arranging things to get things ready. What you're getting ready for is the next 10 years. Lest we forget, we just started a new 7 to 10 year cycle only last year. So it's going to take a lot of compassion and patience. Key code 1, that Isis energy, the calling to lead, the calling to embody, the calling to have confidence in your dreams, the willingness to identify what is yours to do and what is Sophia's to do. And then that key code 2 transmission coming in with Hathor, that's an indication in my consciousness of how multidimensional this year is going to be for each and every one of us. That you and I will be growing on so many levels of our being. It's not actually going to be, you're not actually going to be able to track it with your human awareness. If you look through the eyes of your higher self, you'll be able to see how much you're growing on every level, because your divinity has an omniscient vision, 1,000 eyes. So that to me is an indication that we're all being called into a deeper embodiment of our multidimensional vision, both for caring for ourselves, for guiding ourselves, and also for the vision that we're going to have to hold as we lead humanity through this very powerful passage over the next 3 years of incredible change. The good news is we're just the people to be these people. We're just the people to lead the way. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here together, praying together, visualizing together, receiving together, supporting one another. You and I truly have each other's back in this, and the Ascended Masters have our back, and most importantly, the source of all love, the source of everything we need has our back. And it's just so exciting for me to be on this dragon ride with you, this journey together with you. I want to thank you from my heart to yours for joining me tonight in prayer and meditation. It's always so meaningful to spend this time together once a month, and I look forward to praying with you again next month. And just all my love to you. If there's anything that we spoke about tonight, or learning how to work more deeply with the Sophia Code book and initiations, feel free to email us through our website and let us know how we can support you and serve you. It's truly an honor for all of us to be celebrating in the revelations of the Sophia Code together with you. We love supporting the light of your divinity being embodied in your very heroic human journey here on Earth. So all my love to you. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next month. Namaste.